Woohoo! Here we are. I have my voice today.
Yes, right. From those that joined us last week, it's a relief.
That's trouble. Oh, I forgot to get our show off of the printer.
Well, happy Thursday, everyone. Oh, I can't believe it's like middle of May already. Like I was telling Barb the other day, it's flying by, right?
This is crazy that it's middle of May, the 5th, 14th. Holy crap. Back in the day, this would be the day before payday.
Amen to that, right?
Back in the day. Oh, Lord. And of course, my dog is showing out right now. Listen, we are waiting for our special guest. There she is. And we are going to say hello from there she is. Hello, Kris. You're on mute, my dear. There you go. So we want to just welcome you guys to our second morning cut. This is so exciting that this is what Lupe and I call us pivoting quickly, because we had the plans to do something like this on YouTube, which the show will be re-aired on YouTube. But we were looking at doing this later in the year, if not next year, at the same time we launch a podcast. And instead we decided, why wait? It's kind of about what we talked about last week, is push the start button. You don't need a full ass plan, which I really love.
Shocker.
I know, and so we are excited to be here today. I am Barbara Brooks, 53, the co-founder of Second Act Women.
I'll reintroduce. I am
Lupe.
I am the co-founder, and I'm 46.
Good morning, Kris. We are so excited to have you. And actually, hold on for your, it says not frozen there. Okay, so it's my system that's frozen. If it's not my voice freezing last week, literally, it's now my system that's freezing. Everybody get off the internet. In my area.
I ran upstairs to get off the internet. I was like, your studying can wait for a minute because my internet is not working on my computer, so I'm on my iPad right now.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And my phone.
Well, you still look great. And we can't wait to introduce you and let everyone know we're dressed a certain way. It's really to honor what you do and who you are. And I thought I would go super super duper.
Super Annie Lennox chic and stuff,
Right? So those of you that are watching, we are so excited. Here's what we have lined up for you for the next hour. So today we're really talking, again, this is real talk for real women over 40 and 50. And we have Kris Wittenberg from the amazing Good to Be Good to People.
Oh, yes.
Caroline. Hello. And she's going to share with you some of the struggles that she's experienced over what's been happening over the last couple of months, and how she's pivoted to help people. So it's a really great story. I mean, yeah, we'll dive into it. We're also going to be talking about, we're going to do a little throwback Thursday. I have a surprise for Lupe. We are going to be spilling the beans on, throwing back Thursday, because how fun is that? To remember, we're Gen Xers. It's fun to dive back and to see what was going on the same time, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, whatever it may be. And we've got my weekly affirmation I'm going to share with you a little later. And there's some downloads and some printables from Miss Lupe, who's going to talk to you about 10 things to find your purpose. So we're going to dive right in. And I want to say welcome to Kris Wittenberg. Hello, Miss Kris.
Thank you. Hello.
We are so excited to have you here today, girl. I mean, you have been through it. So, like we all have. And your company, Be Good to People, is one that was really hit, and Say No More Promotions. Mm-hmm. And so first, let's talk about your background and tell our ladies who you are as a second actor, your past, and we'll dive into your why.
All right.
As I sip my tea, because I'm a tea drinker.
Awesome.
Yeah,
latte.
Got your mugs, everyone? Viewers or co-hosts? Awesome.
I don't have people mugs, but I have my travel tumbler.
I used to actually be I was director of marketing of downtown Fort Worth when I lived in Dallas. And so I have this mug that is like 20-something years old. So tell us a little bit about you.
That's a good lead into Say No More Promotions, because that is what's called a promotional product, right? Logoed merchandise. And you have had that for 20 years. So I always tell people, so my background's in promotions and marketing. I've been in it my entire career. But a company that I started 21 years ago is called Say No More Promotions. And we do logoed merchandise. And I tell people, especially in this time when our marketing dollars are more valuable than ever, look how long you've had that mug, because it's a great logo. It works well. It looks nice. So we're in the business at Say No More Promotions of helping brands amplify their message. And I always tell people that promotional products are one of the lowest cost pieces of advertising that you can have, because if you give something that they love, which is what we specialize in finding that for our customers, it sticks around, and it walks around. The average pen moves 7 times in its life to 7 different owners. And so great example of how effective, especially for small businesses, but all businesses, having your logo out there on something that works well and looks good. So we help our clients find that. And that's a company that's been around. We're up here in Eagle. And I think I've always been pretty entrepreneurial. And sorry, it's just a frazzled morning. I'm looking at my frozen.
No, that's okay. And for those that are watching, you're in Eagle County, which is outside of Vail, Colorado, because we do have folks from around the country that are a part of our Second Act movement.
Yes. Well, and aren't you nation?
And it's not being real anyway, Kris.
I feel, I'm going to be super real for you. This has been a day. I got up at 5 o'clock, so excited for the thing. I went on my morning hike because I'm trying to have this clear head and do this pivot and be, okay. I'm not speaking loudly enough. Okay. It's probably because I'm on my iPad as well, because my computer's not working because it's frozen.
That's better.
Is it better if
Yes.
I'm so sorry. Normally I have a really good mic on my computer. It's that whole pivot word, right?
Yes.
Always pivoting. And as an entrepreneur, we are always pivoting. So that is, I think, first of all, I don't think I shared this, but I'm 52. So I'm right there as a Second Act woman. And I feel like as an entrepreneur, we are pivoting all the time. And I don't know that this is my second act or my 15th act, but what I know that is my consistent act is hustling, working hard. And I honestly work harder as an entrepreneur than I ever did as a salaried employee. And I know you guys know what that's like. So Say No More Promotions was rolling along, and I was out running errands one day at lunch, and I had an unkind experience, and I was really irritated. And when I came back into my office, I said, why can't people just be good to people? How hard is that? I was so frustrated, and I honestly don't remember what happened to me, but it inspired me. The next words out of my mouth were, I'm going to put Be Good to People on a t-shirt. I'm going to just send a message, and I ended up ironing it on a t-shirt. And at the time with Say No More Promotions, we were growing rapidly. I had 2 little kids. I had a baby and a toddler, and my husband works with me, and it was a lot to start a new company. So I had this whole idea for it and got the website and got trademarked, and then ended up just really focusing on Say No More because I didn't have the bandwidth to do 2 things at once. And so then the recession hit. Do we remember the recession of 2008? And a lot of companies, very much like right now, were not buying logoed merchandise. They were sort of freezing their marketing dollars and hunkering down like they are right now. And so it was a stressful time for the country. And looking back, it was nothing compared to right now. But it seemed like the world needed to hear the Be Good to People message. And so that's when we decided in the spring of 2009 to start making the products, and we started selling them that summer in Vail at the farmer's market.
That's fantastic. Oh my God. And you know, and we thank you for your shirts. We met a few months ago and you gave us these shirts and I've worn them out on walks and walking the dog or hikes and stuff. And you get these stares, you know, you get that whole kind of like double stare and you know, people are reading what you're walking around with. And I even had a couple of people come up to me and say, I love your shirt. You know, and I'm like,
me too.
You know, and it's engaged people in conversation. And I think that's the power of words sometimes where you just walk around with, hey, whether I know, Barb, you're a big kind of like t-shirt fan of wearing like meaningful messages on your t-shirts as well too. But it's this idea that, you know, you can be that walking advocate, you know, by whether it's you choose to use a backpack or a shirt or, you know, and then in addition to not just walking around with it, but you're choosing to actually live it and be it. And it's a beautiful kind of way that you can kind of internalize almost the messages that you tend to like subscribe to and wear and integrate into your daily life. That's cool.
It's true. Thank you. Yes. I think that's when a little bit more backstory is when I ironed the words for myself. That's what really made me understand that the power of the words, because I would get stopped and that's led me to decide to put it on lots of products. And there's something too, like there are so many inspirational messages on shirts and products and things, but there's something about Be Good to People that's really magic. And I don't know, everything we have is black and white because it's that simple. Just be good to people. And I think that black and white trade dress and branding really reinforces what the message is.
Yes.
You know, because it's so simple.
You know, that's interesting because I think I asked you, I met you a couple of years ago through Rachel, and Rachel, pardon me, I can never pronounce her last name, but she had a conference that you were at. You had this booth there, this kiosk, and I would instantly gravitated to you. And then instantly our personalities were just like, it was like we had known each other forever. It was really crazy. It was like kismet. And you and I said then, we were like, okay, we've got to find a way to work together eventually. And that was way before, that was actually the conference that made me push play and say, all right, I'm going to figure out my purpose and my why and do a little work. But what I love is exactly what you said, is it's black and white. Because at first when I saw you, I thought, no, it's Be Good to People. And I'm a colorful person, although I do wear a lot of black and white.
You look
but I'm very colorful. I live life in full color. And I wonder, you know, this is such a positive message. And as a marketer, I'm like, why is it not rainbow colors or, you know, but when you explain to me, it's that simple. It's that simple. It's as simple as black and white. Be good to people. Full stop.
Honestly, if we would just do that, whether you're talking about politics or, you know, neighbors or spouses or friends, honestly, I just tell people, lead with kindness. I struggle with, I really struggle with when someone doesn't lead with kindness, reacting. I'm a person who is, you know, authentic to the core. And I feel like I need to tell everyone how I'm feeling all the time. So what Be Good to People does for me is it gives me that pause, because, you know, in all of these, spiritual and energy things and the yoga and the meditation that we're all trying to, you know, clear our minds and get zen, they always say, you know, take a breath, pause. And I've always struggled to get to that breath or pause because I'm a person who reacts. And so for me, what it does is, and I think also because I'm authentic, like I can't be wearing a shirt that says Be Good to People in big letters and be a jerk to someone. So when I go out in the world and I lead with kindness. I always smile. I'm the person that says hi on the bike path or the walking path, and drives me nuts when people don't say hi back. I hate that. So it helps me not react. And I think if we just led with kindness all the time, we'd be in a much better place.
Yeah. No, I wholeheartedly agree. And I think, you know, what's really neat about where we are right now too, like I think a lot of people are peeling back the layers of, hey, my beliefs, my values, how I want to show up. I think, you know, I've heard so much, you know, talk about crises actually defines your character. It doesn't necessarily build your character, it reveals it, right? And I think these are the times right now where you need to internalize some of these messages, some of these belief systems and values and words of encouragement, you know, and understand that there is more to life than materials, than, you know, getting ahead and, you know, stepping on people to get ahead of, you know, or wherever we are. But, you know, we're not perfect. And so, to be reminded, through, whether it's your attire or through affirmations or meditation, that, hey, you know what, you're still a work in progress and you still need to be reminded.
That's right.
I think that's a beautiful gift to give yourself, because otherwise we do get bombarded with so much that we forget. So it's nice to have these reminders along the way.
I agree. It's great. You get it. It's why we get along so well.
Yes, we do.
Yep. And you know what I love? I love the book Start With Why. And I always tell, if there's one book I tell an entrepreneur, or really anyone who's really trying to find their purpose, to start with why. Read Simon Sinek's book, Start With Why. And that's exactly what happened with you. It came out of nowhere, one statement. And then years later, you decide to make it into a full-fledged company. And by full-fledged, I mean, you literally opened up at Denver International Airport just a year ago, correct? Just last year with kiosks and booths. And you had a team you took this message and your why to share with the world and created an entire company that was big enough to then be welcomed at Denver International Airport. Because trust me, from the retail world that I come from, they're particular about who is representing that brand, and that brand is DIA. And so that says something about you. But again, you started with your purpose and your passion, which is be good to people. And then it turned into this. So you had a bit of a hiccup though with be good to people. You had, and I'm gonna talk about this licensing issue. We're not gonna mention who.
We don't even have to talk about it either. Also, because after I answered the questions last night, I was like, well, that's kind of negative, and I don't know that it's necessary to put negative out there. So I know you know how.
That makes sense.
Whatever. Yeah. But it's not necessary.
No, I got you.
And so, okay, so then moving on to this other topic. So what I love about this too is, I think a lot of our women right now are definitely in a phase of like, what's my purpose? How do I find my purpose? And some of us think, for me personally, I think that's a very lofty word sometimes. But what I love about your story, and I want to make sure that we echo this to our women, is that in a simple exchange, you didn't necessarily go out thinking that you were going to start this company. You didn't go out there saying, I'm going to create this business plan and I'm going to create this, I'm setting out to find my purpose and here's my whys and all of this. Like you decided to act on an instant, on an exchange that rubbed you the wrong way. And you said, I'm going to be different. I'm going to grow above this. And I'm going to make something of it. And here you are today, like leading this fantastic organization rooted from something so simple. So I just want people to understand that there is value in the moment when you choose to listen to it. And you listened to it that moment and you took it and you ran with it.
Yes. And same with my first company. It happened the same way. I think for a lot of entrepreneurs, that's probably the case, right? Is I didn't intend to start a company with either of my companies. It was my passion and it felt good.
Yeah.
We have to listen more to ourselves.
That's right.
What doesn't feel good?
Mm-hmm.
What are you butting your head up against? Listen to that. And that's what I'm in the middle of right now is I'm trying to get operations help because I am not very good at it. and it makes me hurt and it's angry and it's stressful and it makes me not get other things done because it's not what I love doing. And so you struggle. It's such a struggle to do the things that you don't enjoy. And I wish I had the $1 zillion to just bring in all the help to do it. But as you ladies know, you kind of do everything.
Yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely. And speaking of that, then let's talk about some of the things that we go through as entrepreneurs, and especially right now when you have to, and I know this is such an overused word, and but you've had to pivot because, again, you have DIA, so you have a kiosk, you've got 2 companies, a wonderful husband who is your business partner in Say No More Promotions. What are some of those struggles, and how did you, because you see here, Elisa tells us that you is kind of hinting that you made a pivot that has actually helped a situation. So talk about what happened, the negative part, which I hate to say, but we always have to learn how we could turn that into something great. And that's what you did.
Always. If you don't, then you're in trouble. You have to, everything's a lesson,
Absolutely.
right? So the airport
Yep.
at first glance, the COVID situation in the airport at first glance was devastating. We had finally built this amazing team at the kiosk with the best people, really for the first time in a year. And it really took a long time to build that. And just the airport traffic was gone. But on top of that, I was concerned about my team's health and safety being down there with travelers from all over the world. And so we closed the doors until further notice. They're still closed until further notice. We're trying to sort it out. But that was devastating because that's, a giant part of our revenue. We aren't super strong on online marketing. And so here we are, well, that's what we have to do is online marketing. Well, I'm a product person. I've made products my whole life. And the first thing that came to mind is what can be good to people do that will help people in this pandemic. We don't have the finances to go, help people financially. What can we do? And so we reached out to one of our factories and we created some really awesome little masks. And
I'm still waiting for mine I can't wait to get mine.
Do you not have your second one yet?
I'm sure, girl, I'm sure it's going to be here soon. It's probably today, just my luck, the day after we do this.
It should.
Yeah, I mean, how brilliant, while she's getting this, how brilliant was this, ladies? Our co-host out there, Elisa, Facebook user, and others, that she found a need that could be good to people.
There we go.
Look at that.
And
That's so cute.
It's pretty cute.
Is that not awesome? What a way to share the message.
Thank you. And you know what's so cool about it is we're hiding our smiles, right? So when everyone has masks on, you can't see people smiling. You can see the eyes smiling a little bit, but I always tell people now with the masks that let the words be your smile. Because
I love that.
You can't
love that
when you see them. So
I love that.
That's been the pivot.
It's about learning to smile.
Yep.
When you have that
it's a way to express yourself, right? Well, and it's just this idea of like, again, this whole idea of learning new ways to do things, just because we've been always so used to, communicating one way or showing up a certain way doesn't mean that we can't change, and we can still have just an amazing effect, in this case by deciding to share good message, because like I said with my t-shirt, people look. So now that we've got these masks on, if you can still continue to spread that message through that, like there's just an amazing, opportunity.
It's well, and the cool thing too, I really want to share. We donate 50 cents per mask to. I was looking for an organization that I could feel we could make a difference, and we chose an organization called Feeding Heroes. It's actually a program of an organization called Parenthood Together. They're in New York, and listen how cool this is. They are on the front lines. They are using restaurants, small businesses that are out of really struggling because we can't go to restaurants. And they are delivering healthy meals to the hospitals and frontline workers in New York City. So we just donated a check last night, and I don't have the number right in front of me, but over $3,000 to their organization.
Oh my gosh, Kris!
3 hospitals.
Oh, that is fantastic. That is a lot of mouths being fed for, oh my gosh, I just got chills.
Awesome.
Thank you. And then we also donate to our revenues for all of Be Good to People. We always donate that to the Be Good to People Foundation, which is our 501c3. But in this case, we decided when COVID happened that 2% could be better served. Our foundation doesn't do a whole bunch right now because we don't have the bandwidth. So for April, we donated that 2% to Minnie's Food Pantry in Dallas.
Wow.
And because the food banks and the food pantries are really, really struggling. And so their check's going out today, and that's going to feed over 3,000 people. Because they say,
wow. Gosh, that is amazing. Now, how did you pick these, living here in Colorado, how did you pick, well, we get why you picked New York, there is no doubt. How did you also pick the other states?
So Minnie's Food Pantry, Cheryl Action Jackson, you have to check her out. She is a huge Oprah fan. She went to every Oprah event except the one we went to in Denver. But we've become friends on the internet, and this woman is amazing. And Minnie's Food Pantry is a food pantry in Denver where the people who come, they have music playing, they have red carpets, they walk up on like a red carpet. So they want to bring dignity to the people that are going to.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
She's amazing. And we've just become friends on social media. And so when we were thinking of where can we give the 2%, when we first decided it, I thought she was in more locations. And so we always try and do something that's kind of nationally based, obviously, because we're a national brand.
Right.
And I just love her so much. And so that's what we picked for April for the 2%. We'll be picking another, good doing organization
I love it.
for May. So it's just, and that when I started Be Good to People, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be Oprah-like, to just be like, you get a car, you get a car.
Like you get one.
I love that. What did you just spoke of Oprah, and I just wrote down. So by the way, if you all see me doing this a lot, it's because I'm always taking notes, because I'm always getting ideas. It's my squirrel moments. And I would love to get all of us ladies together for a morning cup to talk about our Oprah experience. How amazing was that? That was my first time experiencing Oprah live. And I love personal development and all of those things over the last couple of years. I'm really into that now. And that experience was overwhelmingly beautiful.
Yeah.
It was
magical.
Beautiful.
It was beautiful. I will say it was my second one.
What did you take away from it?
So my experience was definitely different than yours, in that we brought in 24 people. We brought in good doers through the Be Good to People. And we had 20 people, and then we had a lot of cancellations at the last minute. And we actually, we ate like 5 or 6 very expensive tickets because I was like getting our Airbnb.
Girl, we could have taken care of that for you.
I know. It was just nuts. And you remember that week. It was, and then COVID was coming. Literally everything blew up 4 days after that event. So we had a lot of people who weren't able to come. And I understand that. I respect that. I was really sad that there were people who wouldn't be able to go and those tickets went to waste. But it was my second time seeing her. Everybody who was at the event, no problem. Everybody who was at the event in our group, it was their first time. And so they just were walking on air when they left. And I just thought it was so beautifully orchestrated. And I was really excited that Gayle King was our guest. And because I just loved their friendship. So I thought it was amazing. I sweat a lot. We did quite a lot of exercising in standing up. So I was a little sweaty.
Yeah.
A lot.
I know.
I was just sweaty because I'm 53 and I'm going through something. Okay. But
I wasn't going to.
Oh my gosh.
I can do that here. I can sweat just for
no
reason.
It was so. Yeah. Lupe and we went out to get our Panera Bread, delicious Panera Bread meal, and we missed Common because she and I were taking pictures of every single. We went around the entire complex to take a picture with every single Oprah vignette, and we found out that Common was in the house, so we missed that. But the whole day, the opening band, it was just beautiful.
And the energy in the room. So, did you ever see the performance on YouTube? Because I have the whole video and I can get it too if you want to watch.
Oh, no.
Oh my gosh, no, please do. Yeah. Please do. Let's go back to how you changed your playbook. A lot of us that are on that are a part of this community, about 65% of us are as Erica Richter would say, are micro businesses, so 20 employees or less. And so, we're struggling. I'm going to throw it out there. We're right in there, Lupe, and this is real talk. How did you change your playbook and adapt to, besides the masks, what are you doing? And you don't have to go into details, but how are you changing your playbook in essence? What are you doing now with Say No More promotions, with Be Good to People? Or have you yet made those plans?
You know what? They're kind of two different scenarios. It's interesting. Say No More promotions has always been what pays our bills, and Be Good to People has been my passion project.
Got it.
I pay myself $1,000 a month to Be Good to People. It's peanuts. And so it's really not about the money for me with Be Good to People. And so Say No More has always been a good backup. Well, Say No More is really struggling. So we're getting very creative with marketing at Say No More Promotions, and we're outreaching. It's interesting. Do you mind if I talk about something? This is a really good forum.
Go for it. I have observed with women and men, when we went through that recession in 2008, and it's the case now, my husband reached out. He went on LinkedIn. So you get desperate. So you're like, oh, okay, we need to drum up some revenues. I kid you not. He reached out on LinkedIn to a guy that he'd gone to college with. And I will never forget the phone call. The guy, he hadn't talked to him in I don't know how many years. The guy was a head of marketing at a big winery. My husband calls him and he's like, hey dude, what's going on? And the guy's like, oh, whatever, hey dude. And Augie said, hey, we're really having a tough time. People aren't ordering. Do you order promotional products for the winery? And his friend was like, yeah. He was a client of ours in like less than 5 minutes. And I feel like that happens a lot more with guys, because it just happened again with another one of his friends who was one of our friends in San Francisco. And I feel like it's a lot harder to get that done as women. Do you guys feel that way? Or is that just, I feel like as women, we kind of like, I feel like we need to do that old boys network more of like, yeah, let me help you out. Let me help you out.
Yeah. I think it's a little bit of, it's a two-way street. It's interesting. We have heard repeatedly, and I know myself too, and we've even read, different studies and stuff, that women definitely have a hard time asking for help. And I don't know why that is. I don't know. I think it stems from a lot of things, whether it's like, hey, you're running a household and, you're expected to multitask, and we're expected to be the problem solver, not just for our families, but for like ourselves at work or whatever it might be. And so we tend to kind of step into these roles that I think, we definitely kind of own, and we definitely bring the value, and we bring the problem solving, et cetera. But sometimes I feel like women tend to hesitate to ask because we feel like, I should know the answers, or I should make this happen, or, I need to just be self-sufficient. And, and I don't think
I don't want to be vulnerable. Or I don't want or I don't want people to know my business, or I don't want to open myself up to criticism if I do whatever, or, there's this, we hear it time and time again. There's also this lack for some, I feel like for women at our age, it's getting better, is the confidence level is not, I think we know our value. And there's a term that we came up with the other day. It's really owning our value. So owning it. And in owning it, that's being confident, that's asking for help when you need to, that's Lindy. I mean, and you and I, Kris, have had conversation just yesterday. And we had a really great conversation. There was no hesitation on your part to throw to Linda a helping hand. So I think it really boils down to let it go, ladies, ask. This happened, that was even said by Victoria, Lindsay, and others that were at our first conference. It's just, if we're not making the ask, then we're not there to help. And we just don't want to make that ask for some reason. So I think that's the issue. And we hear about confidence. Say that again?
Not wanting to put someone out. Like, I think, like, I don't know that I could just call someone and be like, hey, I really need your help. Do you buy promotional products? Can you buy it?
Right.
So, you're right. It's a confidence level, because I'd be like, hi, how are you? And how are things going? And we would talk about kids or whatever for 15 minutes. And then I'd be like, oh, should I ask? Should I not ask? And then, that's probably more of it.
No, so that was valid. I mean, that was a valid, go ahead, Lupe.
Well, no, so I was going to say, I mean, I think that's a beautiful challenge to put out to our women today.
Absolutely.
To say, hey, you know what? If you find yourself in a situation where you need somebody's help, whether it's financially, whether it's a new job, or it's a new connection, to support you, or you just need someone to hear you out, like, make the call, take the time to ask for that, because at the end of the day, it is all about, I mean, we're all at the very end, we're all here because we want to make a difference, and we want to create impact,
Right.
and we want our lives to matter and mean something. And so if you can, you know, put yourself out there by asking, maybe you're giving someone else the purpose and the opportunity to be that, you know, sounding board for you in a way that would have never happened had you not dared to ask.
Yeah. I mean, you know, and it is a pride thing. It is a pride thing. So I don't mean to go back into that, but I'm just thinking about how I used to feel personally about, there was no way Lupe would know my personal business until I knew that I could trust her and there was no judgment. So this was years ago. And this woman knows so much about me. Kris, you know what just happened with my car the other day? It's just like, and you know what? I'm okay with sharing with people I know, hold no judgment. And I think that's what it is we feel like maybe we're going to be judged in a certain way sometimes. And that's how I used to feel. So I have one question for you, and then we're going to open it up to questions. You know, people are loving and they're posting your merch, by the way, and where you can find your merchandise, which I love. Thank you, Elisa, for supporting. If you're a Facebook user and it literally says Facebook user, that we would love to see your face. And the way that you do that is just simply accepting StreamYard. And there's a link that says you accept StreamYard to show who you are. And we'd love to know who you are. So the question is, and you saw it, so I'm sure you're prepared. So I do not call it a bucket list. I call it a live life list. Who the F wants to think about taking the bucket? Okay. So if I'm creating a list, it's called my live life list. All right. So I want to know, what is the one thing that's on your live life list that you would like to do, accomplish, be, whatever it may be?
The one thing I would like to accomplish is I would like Be Good to People and the Be Good to People Foundation to be thriving. I would like my vision to be executed so that it's operating smoothly, so that I can be out of the operations and do the things that I want to do with the brand. I feel like I have a lot of stories to tell in my 11 years experience with the brand. And I feel like I need to be out telling people things. And I have a really big vision for that, and a flagship location here in the Vail Valley. And I just had a great breakfast meeting 2 days ago to take a step forward in that direction. I always thought Vail was too expensive a place and we wouldn't be able to make it happen. And I am not going to think that limiting belief anymore. This is where the brand started. And I think this is where the heart of Be Good to People is. And I want to be able to share it. And I have a really big plan for how we're going to do that. So being a member of the community, I know will inspire me to do that. And what I had on the answer to that question last night too was, and after that happens, I'm going to go on an African safari, one of those really, really fancy ones, because that's my bucket in terms of like a fun thing to do. A safari I love to do.
So I love it. You listed your personal live life list, which is still your passion, and the other. I love that. And I'm gonna do one more thing. And Lupe's like, oh my God, that is so you. I want you to open up your phone and show us picture number 4.
Oh my gosh, you know what? I'm glad that my phone is now not frozen.
And be honest, unless you and Augie had a little fun time.
Okay.
Not enough bar for putting you on the spot, right, Kris?
I know.
Yeah. Picture number 1 was my updates on my computer, and I think that's 4. Oh, it's Mia Voss and Charlie.
Oh, you and Mia Voss. I love it. Oh, yay.
Mia's been a huge supporter. Be Good to People. So I do that. I save screenshots of people when they post it because I don't have my good system for filing all the posts and re-sharing them and stuff like that. So
I like that. Well, thank you for sharing. And I'm going to show my 4th picture. Lupe, get yours out. We're going to play this game. Yep.
Oh my heaven.
1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, here's mine.
I knew it.
Oh, your puppers.
Yeah, and you know what? It's a happy birthday, Aurelia, to a friend's little 10-year-old the other day, Caroline Lotz. And so, it's a sign that says happy birthday from Riley.
Oh,
Riley's mom used her left hand to write it.
Okay, so I've got I forget to download my pictures, so I just was scrolling and I landed on a picture. So it's not necessarily my 4th one, but
That
Let's
works.
see, where is it? Right there. So it's in Mexico about 2 years ago.
Oh, you and your beautiful kids.
My girl, my boy. So.
Oh, I love it. So let's open this up to questions, and then I know that we're a little behind, but this has been so exciting. I love this. So does anybody have a question for any of us, but more specifically for Kris with Be Good to People? You can find her merchandise, her masks, and these t-shirts that we have. Mine has a hoodie. I dig
Yours is a hoodie. Mine's actually the bona fide t-shirt.
Yeah, I got the hoodie.
That's the legacy vintage hooded tee. That one's our best seller.
Yeah.
That's a cute one. That's a cute shirt.
Isn't it? I love it. So let's see. Women, I love all this positivity that's coming in, by the way. If we don't have any questions, we want to thank you, Kris, for being with us today. And I personally would be talking to you later on today. Oh, wait, Elisa has a question. All right, go ahead, Miss Elisa. Elisa from Colorado in Lafayette.
She gets a gold star. She's been very active. Yay, Elisa.
She has. We love her. She's like a super second act woman.
I need to connect with her.
Yeah. All right, so throw your question out, Elisa, and we'll get answered.
And maybe in the meantime, Kris, if you want to give your contact information as far as like where people find you and maybe, what's the best way to support you right now, that would be something good for our listeners as well, too.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Merchandise is available at begoodtopeople.com. We really, someone bought a tank. Thank you. User. Elisa says, what do you need now? Thank you.
And she actually mentioned operations earlier too. What kind of operations do you need help with?
Oh my gosh. We need, I hired Brielle, your graphic designer, by the way, for a quick project last week. And I love her. And she's like, great. She's a solid.
Yeah, she's legit. She did our logo. We love her.
Yeah, she's amazing. She was so good. And I deal with a lot of graphic designers, and she's going to be my go-to moving forward. She's fantastic. And I love her heart. So I need, what we need more than anything is we need people to do what is on the shirts. We need followers on Instagram desperately. We only have like 8,000 followers. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't get it. But
we are here to help you. We're going to post all of that after this.
Thank you. And you know what? It's great. We have our Be Good to People community. It's a private Facebook group on Facebook. So it's just called the Be Good to People community. And that is where we're probably going to be building. We actually had to do a private community because we have a company that likes to copy everything that we do. So I kind of moved all of our, things that matter into a private group just to keep it there and have it be safe. And one thing on the private group is there are the questions.
I was not going to mention who they were when we were going to talk about that because I'm not about to give them the breath. I just wanted women to know, license your stuff and trademark it, which is what you did. Yeah.
Really quickly on that, there is a brand that looks very much like ours, and it's in Denver. And I will tell you guys, it has caused me so much pain, and my family and my team, and it doesn't seem to stop, and they ignore our cease and desist. And I will tell you, I have an 85-page deck and have had many attorneys look at it, and we would have a very strong case, and it's very expensive to protect, and go out.
You do. I've seen that deck. I saw that deck. Remember?
It was done with intent. They knew exactly what they were doing. They market to all of our customers. They send product to our customers, and they do ads to them, and they've blocked us. And because they blocked us on Instagram, we can't market to their customers. And people think that their community leaves bad reviews on our Facebook page, and we can't do anything about it. Facebook won't do anything about it. They say we're a fake brand, and that's so not true.
It's these young guys out there that saw, basically, in my opinion, saw that you had something really great that they can monetize. And one of those kids had a dad with money and said, I'm jumping on this and I'm going to outdo her. And I'm going to, I'm not going to be good to people. And instead, I'm going to do my own thing.
And the name
period.
and is
So,
super ironic.
Yeah. So we're going to help you win. This community, you've already sold like 5 or 6 shirts just being a part of this. So we want to say thank you for sharing your time. And Kris, you know, we're big fans, and I love that that you wanted to partner with Lupe and I way back when we were even trying. Oh, she's already gone. Is she gone?
Nope, there she is.
Oh, there she is. When we were talking about the Oprah thing. So just thank you. I want you to have a beautiful day, and we are in your corner. This will also be on YouTube, and you can share this. I'll send you all the links when we're done, and you're welcome to share this.
Yes, it was so awesome having you.
We love you, my dear.
Thank you. And I look
forward to Kris Wittenberg. Yes, with Be Good to People, begoodtopeople.com.
Thank you.
Awesome. Bye, Kris.
cpfoundation.org is the nonprofit.
Oh, perfect.
Yay.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Oh, I love it. Oh, look at all these people that are supporting you guys. Brenda, Elisa, Elizabeth, and others. Thank you so much for supporting our community of badass women over 40 and 50. I personally, and so does Lupe, know that means so much to her to sell even one shirt that will help her get to her goals. So we appreciate that. And
Absolutely.
so Lupe, we're going to jump into your
you know, I think it's a perfect segue into this whole idea of, you know, what does it mean to live your life with meaning? You know, I mean, after coming off of this conversation, I'm like, well, she's just the perfect epitome of what that means. Right?
I know. It's like,
I couldn't have asked for a better transition, you know. Like, in all honesty, ladies, I don't know how many of you had a chance to read our blog in this past newsletter on Tuesday, but it was all about living your life according to who. And really asking yourself, who are you living your life for? Because at the end of the day, you know, we all are subject to experiences, you know, we're passed down, you know, beliefs and values, and we are indoctrined into a way of sometimes existing that sometimes counters to how you truly at your core essence operate. But what happens is that from a young age, we're conditioned to kind of show up a certain way. You're a good girl or a bad girl. You know, you do this to get good praise, or you do this and you get chastised. But it's this idea that even as women 40 and 50 plus now, we are continuously still being bombarded with these ideas of how to live, how to be, how to show up. And so it's important that, you know, now at this crossroads that we find ourselves again, where we either choose to absorb, you know, the nuances or the expectations that comes with being 40, 50, 60 plus. It's an opportunity for you to say, you know what, actually, I'm going to take a step back and I'm going to recalibrate who I am and show up a little bit more authentically and a little bit more in tune with who I am as a woman, not as a mom, not as a, you know, wife, not as a, you know, worker, not as anything else other than the woman that looks back at you in the mirror, right? And so we have these 4 guiding posts that Barb and I kind of, as we were talking through, and we are still continuously living, you know, and experiencing, because we're still women, you know, in progress, and works in progress. But one of them was this idea that we are all somehow connected to the ether, like to something bigger than ourselves, you know, whether that's rooted in God, spirituality, whether that's rooted in just simply being good to people, like, you know, Kris's mantra, or gratitude. There is an altruistic ideal reason for why you are and why you want to be. And so the first guiding post is really taking a step back from, like, how am I currently connecting in this world, and understanding what at your true essence is in your heart, and what makes you, you know, you amongst the 7.8 billion people that currently live in this world, right? Because at the end of the day, like, you're the only one living your life according to your situation, to your circumstances, and your relationships. So don't give others the power to dictate, you know, how you should show up. Right? I mean, don't you think, Barb?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and as we were, as I was reading through your 10 identifiers or 10 ways to show up, you know, a lot of it is, it's funny because it's common sense, but it's not stuff we think about or remind ourselves about. It's about, and it's things that in the past I would have laughed at, like, whatever, you know, that's just, you know, something Brene Brown, or I don't know, Tony whatever his name is, would say. And it's true though. We have to take care of ourselves. We have to put ourselves first. We have to get up and have, maybe a morning routine, set some goals, and set that one focus thing that you're going to do for yourself, and probably even set that one goal that you're going to do to achieve something in your business or career as well. But yeah, it's about showing up. Yeah.
And I think that all starts with having your inner dialogue, right? I think how many women, and people, like in general, how many of us live life on autopilot, right? Where we just, you get up, you do what you need to do, you're subject to your planner, to the things that need to be accomplished, but you forget to say, hey, you know what? How am I taking care of me? How am I reconnecting, with my truest self? And how am I putting my beliefs, my values, into action? I mean, and better yet, how am I auditing those so that I'm not living, in the past, and do they still serve me today?
And why would we want to live life on autopilot? I remember we were using that term a lot at the beginning of when we were creating. At first, this was going to be an event company. Take your life off autopilot, stop pausing, whatever. And why would we, even during this time, why would we want to push pause on our lives or just live life stagnant? No,
because it's
up there and
it's easier.
Right.
It's less painful.
It's so much easier. It's easier to sleep away the day or watch TV all day. I know a lot of us have watched every freaking Netflix show there is, but why not instead set your intention for the morning to learn something new? They say, I was just listening to Good Morning America, my favorite show in the morning. And they were saying that learning is the Skillshare, Coursera, master classes are skyrocketing because so many of us are so many people are deciding to take their lives off autopilot. And instead of picking up a remote control, this isn't a remote, it's my phone, but it is my remote for Hulu, I guess you could say. And instead of that, they're picking these up and learning something new. And I know that's something you and I do, Lupe. I'm not saying it doesn't, it happens every day. I mean, there's times like yesterday where you just kind of want to, not you, but I mean, you just kind of want to let go and dive into a good, juicy reality show. But then you reset. Yeah,
absolutely. And I think, for me personally too, I think it's important to make sure that you take the time for you. So for me, even, yes, the learning is stimulating and it's fantastic because I think it keeps you growing, right? But I think even just taking the pause, for me, I have started to do a 10-minute, and I'm still struggling to get through 10 minutes, but to just be in complete silence. To take advantage of the situation that I'm in right now and just say, hey, how do I connect with who I am as the woman I inherently am, not as the woman I've inherited, the characteristics or behaviors or expectations. How do I reconnect with the person that I know I am at my core? I don't know how many of you guys are reading the book Untamed by Glennon Doyle, but holy crap, she calls that, interconnection, the knowing. And how sometimes because of all these other kind of things that you go through in life and all the layers and expectations and roles and just the craziness of it, we forget how to listen, and how to kind of slow down. And I think that's important for women to do.
Agreed. And Katie says we have to decide we are worth showing up for. And it can be difficult, as this person here says, I'm in a negative autopilot space, unfortunately, working every day to steer my ship in a different direction. And what I would say, and I'm not this leads into a discussion we're going to have next week, but about negativity and mental health and all that. Not that I'm saying this user, by the way, I'm not talking mental health for this, but steering your ship in so many different directions probably is not helpful. I'm guessing, again, it's figuring out, and maybe this person is also working every day, literally working on the job every day, and trying to maintain a household or whatever it may be, or maybe I don't know. But I would imagine trying to steer your ship in different directions is definitely what's driving you into a negative space. How can you focus on you and take care of you if you're doing if it's a shotgun approach. I don't know.
Well, and I think for that, I would say it starts, in all honesty, is put an intention out there. I think, you need to set your intention of, and first I applaud you, it said Facebook user, otherwise I would use your name. But I applaud you first on recognizing and being aware of your space, of where you are, because that I think is the first step in reconciling and even setting the intention to say, hey, you know what? I know I'm here. And even Catherine Wells had posted something yesterday, actually, on LinkedIn, where she said, I'm in a negative space. I'm depressed about the state of our world. There's nothing wrong with acknowledging your feelings and feeling the way you are, feeling all your feels. But then it's what you do afterwards with it that is the defining moment of your character and where you build on it. So it's maybe you then saying, here's where I am. Well, how am I going to get to a place where I want to be? Set the intention. And then how is my intention going to be supported through my actions, through my, beliefs, through the values that I bring in, how I show up each day. And perhaps maybe that's how you can start to chip at that negativity and start to kind of get yourself in a place where you feel better about where you are today. So the other that I wanted to know, it says, I'm losing my job, so that's why I'm steering my ship in a different direction. Girl.
Oh, I get that. Okay, listen, it being 40 and 50 plus, that's why we're here, is to support one another. And Facebook user, let's have a side conversation. If there's anything that if we know of anybody that can help you. I know Katie Bittler-Smith, who's on here. She's a coach, and some others that can help you with this, because listen, it's a hard pill to take, being 40 and 50 and now being where we are today in the world, and now losing our job. And now the fact that we are Gen Xers, there's this chance that they may not hire us, but Lupe and I have a plan that we want to, we're going to start brainstorming how we can work with corporations to say, hey, you need to hire us. This is a whole nother conversation, but listen, we understand then why your ship is like battleship.
And I think with that, I know we're kind of coming to the end of our show, but I think with one, if I just may leave one kind of comment specifically for you, but for all women. So this idea that change is scary. Change is difficult. And sometimes change, just like what we're going through right now with this COVID stuff, is forced upon us. We don't come looking for it. But it's in those moments that your true character will be revealed. I guarantee you. Like, it could be the moment that you needed all along, and then maybe the kind of push along that you needed to step into whatever your next act is. And maybe you're not as prepared as you wish you would be. But believe me, change is a sign that you're alive, and you are definitely, if you were employed before, you've got skills that can be transferable. So it's just a matter of how you embrace the situation you find in, and then how you decide to move forward.
Absolutely. And so we are coming to an end. I will say first, I have a little, so this is spilling the beans, but really it's Throwback Thursday. We're just going to take a step back to the time when this was really hot. Stand by. I'm about to share my screen with you. Do we all remember?
What are you doing? You're scaring me.
Hold on. Glamour shots.
Oh my gosh, girl. And you're at the mall, right? Where you would actually go to the mall all dressed up.
Do we all remember a time when glamour shots was big?
Yes.
Are they able to see that? I'm hoping so.
Oh my gosh. Those were my feet. I actually have a couple of glamour shots of even my kids. Take these pictures.
Throwback Thursday, baby. Oh yeah, you were really
invite like people to post their glamour shots on this string. Like, I think that would be hilarious.
Totally. Totally. Oh my gosh, I just had to share that. Throwback Thursday when glamour shots were all the rage. We want to say thank you. I will tell you. Oh my God, look at Katie says I love glam. She loved a good glamour. Listen, we want to thank everyone. We have a few last things in the last 30 seconds. Is that she couldn't see it? Oh dang it! I need to. Okay. I need to figure out how to add in that third so you can see the glamour shot the next time. Anyhow, we want to say thank you so much for tuning in. Please join our e-newsletter that we send out every Thursday, or I'm sorry, every Tuesday. We're going to post her glamour shot for those of you that say you can't see it because, honey, it is a gem. And we want to say we do have upcoming events. We hope you join us later today at 4 p.m. Mountain Time, where we have a session with Jessica Rowe, who's a 6-time Emmy Award-winning journalist. She's going to show all of us how to get the attention of media and get the stories out there. As it turns out, it's not always about if it bleeds, it leads. They are looking for soft stories that have human interest. She's going to share some really great tips with you. Lupe, what else do you have to say before we go? Oh, really quick. Sorry.
Okay.
Next week we are going to health, and this is Mental Health Awareness Month, and there are several of us that are that do live with mental health, and we're going to talk about that next week. So, Katie, you might be getting a call to join the convo. So, listen, Lupe, do you want to end it? Yeah.
No, I mean, a heartfelt thank you for being, to Kris with Be Good to People for being with us. If you can support her, please do so. And I think, at the end, just remember, you can't go around filling other people's cups if you don't fill your own. So please choose you today and fill your own cup. And to that we say cheers.
Cheers. The hat is from Target. Way back. Bye, everyone.
Awesome.